Jesus clearly had an evangelization strategy. I don't think we often think about the fact that he had a strategy, but it's clear that he picks certain places to go at certain times. He knows when he wants to visit with people who are Jewish, when he wants to visit in towns that are Samaritan, in places where they're Gentiles. He knows when and where he's going to do things. He knows who he wants to be involved. He discerns who he wants to be part of this team of apostles. He clearly has a strategy for the way that he does things, the way that he spreads this message. And we see a glimpse at that today when he sends out the 72 to go ahead of him into these towns. Now, he's done this before. He sent the 12 ahead of him into some of the Jewish villages. Now he's sending 72 others to go to Samaritan villages. Samaritans are kind of, they're mixed Jewish and other cultures, so they have some differing views from Jews. And he's going to some Gentile places, people who are not Jewish at all. They might not worship the same God. They're likely to be pagan. And Jesus wants to go visit these places. He wants to go on tour, but, he doesn't have a website, and it's hard to promote your dates of when you're going to be in their town or something like that. They weren't making T-shirts that like Taylor Swift concerts, right, with all the dates on the back of the shirt. It's not the same thing. It's a little harder. He's trying to take this message to all of these different places. He needs to get the word out that he's coming. So he sends out the 72 in pairs to go and preach in all of these different places, to spread the word about him before he gets there, so that when he shows up, there's already kind of a frenzy, there's an excitement that Jesus is here. And they're not just preaching, they're healing, they're casting out demons, and they had a blast doing it. It doesn't mean that it was easy. Of course, Jesus tells them that it's going to come with a lot of suffering. Sending out as lambs among wolves. This is not going to be always easy, and there's going to be times when entire villages reject them, and they're told to just shake the dust off their feet and know that they're doing God's will, and just keep moving on. I would say that Jesus still has this same strategy with me and you. It's interesting to think about. These 72 are not rabbis. They're not theologians. They're not professional preachers. They're just ordinary people sent to go and share what they know about Jesus. And I'm sure that there were times that people asked them difficult theological questions about Jesus' humanity and divinity, for example. And they probably had no idea how to talk about that answer. And that's okay. Same thing with us, right? There's going to be times the Lord has called us to share our faith with other people. There's going to be times when we're hit with questions that we don't know how to answer in the moment. We might have to say, let me look that up and I'll follow up with you. That's okay. They weren't experts necessarily. They were just people who knew the Lord and loved him and wanted to share what was full in their hearts. Their hearts were full of love for the Lord, and they're happy to share that with others. It should be the same with us. Like, we already talk about the foods that we love, the movies that we love, the people that we love. Can we talk about the Jesus that we love with the people around us? And we don't have to do what these guys did. These guys had to travel on foot to some other town. It's unlikely that you have to go travel to another town to go find somebody who doesn't know Jesus. You probably are related to some. You probably have friends and neighbors and coworkers who already don't know Jesus. And you're invited to witness to your faith by the way that you live, by the way that you talk, by the way that you spend your money, by the way that you spend your free time. You're invited to share your experiences with the Lord. It's always touching to me how I like to hear from people who are in RCIA, now OCIA, when people want to become Catholic. What brought you to this place? And it's fascinating. You start to dig and hear people's stories. So many people coming in who want to become Catholic. It's because someone in their life testified about their spiritual life. They talked about how important the Eucharist was. They talked about what a gift it was going back to confession or praying the rosary or just the beauty of the community at the parish. It's really fun to hear, but almost always it's because somebody testified to them about the value of having a relationship with the Lord, knowing their faith, knowing the sacraments, knowing the Lord. And so you and I are called to do the same thing. We don't have to be experts. We just have to be sincere, willing to share the fullness of the heart, willing to share the Lord that we love. And not everyone's going to like us. In a way, I think about the fact that, yes, these disciples were rejected probably many times as they went to preach in these different places. But they didn't have to know the scriptures. They're preaching to people who are Gentiles in some cases. Gentiles don't know anything about the Bible. They don't have a Bible. At least at this time they certainly didn't. And so we are living in the midst of a similar kind of a culture that doesn't know the Lord, doesn't know the Bible. Perfect. Right? We are the 72. The Lord has the same strategy today that he had then. He's sending us out. And we don't have to go far. We just have to go to the people that we already know and love and share with them the Lord that we already love. So today, we just pray for the grace to love the Lord enough and pray for the grace to have enough courage to speak with others about Jesus.